So hello, this is my first video for this year. I took a bit of a break last year from the YouTube channel just to kind of reflect and recalibrate a bit on wondering what I am doing there. So I wanted to talk to you this morning from this beautiful garden, St Kilda Botanic Gardens in Melbourne, Australia, about dark night of the soul, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, really intense depression. This has happened to me multiple times in my life. And I wanted to talk to you today to reassure you that such things are not terrible, terrible things to be super afraid of, even though they may be really scary at the time, right? It's really scary to experience a panic attack if you've never experienced that before. I found myself standing in my flat, not far from here, just totally overcome with fear. Just completely flooded with fear and all these terrible thoughts that everything had basically gone wrong in my life. So, somebody passing. If this happens to you, the first step is just to be really compassionate to yourself and understand that it's really scary. And once the really scary and intense part has passed, ask yourself, what is the message in this fear and this panic? Because there is always some kind of message. Usually like a really strong and really powerful message. Show you the pond over here. A really powerful message coming direct from your soul, trying to kind of shake you awake to something. And in my case, that something was that I wasn't really using my gifts. My grandmother used to talk to me about this too. She'd remind me of all of my gifts and my talents. She'd ask me why I had not written a book yet. And she's like, oh, you speak all those languages and you play music and you should be rich. Beautiful, my beautiful grandma. So this panic attack for me was really a wake-up call from my soul, kind of shaking me awake, saying, hey, you do have all these gifts, you do have all these talents, you do have these desires to be an artist, a creative person, create beautiful things in the world. So what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? And that was a big part of my panic attack at that time. And other times when I've experienced really strong depression, in my early 20s and again in my late 20s, it was a similar thing. It was, okay, you're being overwhelmed by life, you're being overwhelmed by the expectations of the society that you live in, expectations of other people who are not you. And you just kind of go into a state of collapse because you don't feel your own power. You don't feel like you're able to live in the world on your own terms, I guess, in a way. That was part of why I experienced some really big depressive episodes. So it is challenging to live in the world on your own terms. It's the path of a warrior. It's really hard. Our societies are not really set up to support people who want to do that so much. You have to live with uncertainty. You have to live with maybe not very much money, not a lot of support, either material support or moral support from people who don't believe that it's possible for you to live your dreams, for you to live your truth, for you to bring your gifts out into the world and be paid for that. So you have to live with all of those challenges if you do want to really be your own person in the world and live from your own talents and from your own gifts, create your own life. It is really challenging. And so be compassionate to yourself also. If you get depressed, when you feel overwhelmed by this, also this overwhelmed by this desire to be your own person, do your own thing, create your own life, but then really scared because you really have to go far out on the limb and you're really going against a lot of the norms of your society that might be telling you to get a safe and secure job, safe and secure income, money coming in every month, regardless of what that does to your soul, regardless of whether it feels like your soul is kind of dying because of a job that is not really meaningful to you in any way. So I just wanted to come today and remind you that you're not crazy. If you have strong panic attacks or strong anxiety or strong depression, you're not crazy at all. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just these are symptoms of your soul, which is uneasy with the way that you're living, and most likely a feeling your soul is kind of really trying to tell you some kind of message, which only you know what it is, but it's most likely that you need to bring out a lot more of yourself out into the world. You need to project your energy a lot more out into the world so that you are really creating an energetic space around yourself of your being and really being present and active in the world in your own unique individual way. So that's what I wanted to say to you today. I've come to the end of the garden. I've come to the gates. I hope that was helpful. If it was, leave me a comment down below. I would be really interested to hear your thoughts.